Are we back? Did we make it back? Ah, dear. I don't even know what was going on there. We're back. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so the streaming software decided for some reason to just be, well, what it wanted to be. It was doing what it wanted to do, and it basically, when I was telling you about the streams being split, it basically just cancelled the main one, which was very frustrating. But yeah, give me a second. I'm just setting stuff up again, and then I will jump back on camera and we'll jump straight into the game. But yeah, gosh, it's very frustrating. But anyway, I don't want to kind of bring the tone down because of that. So, what was that? Morning. Yeah, no, morning to you. Right, let's jump in. Cool. So, without any further ado, because we've delayed enough here, let's just get into this because before the stream breaks again, you know, which it might do. You know, it could do. About now, is anything going to explode? I don't know. It might explode, to be honest. Yeah, so I'm just loading this up, and then we'll get straight into it because cool. Cool. Right, so let me just put that up a bit because I think that's going to be quiet. Right, let's go. Let's go. So if you're not aware, this is Duke Nukem 3D on the Sega Saturn. Oh yeah, it says I'm playing Duke Nukem 64. Ah, well. I know. You missed the explosion. You did miss the explosion, but you're not going to miss the main event because here we are playing Duke Nukem 3D on Sega Saturn. God, I love this part so much. Yeah, so I mean, it's unfortunate that I don't have real hardware to play this on, but you know, it's just to give a flavour of it, really. It's not really to kind of do too much with it. Let's have a quick look at the controller setup. Right, jump is B. Cool. Just getting the control set up, and then we can go. Ever since I first saw this version as a kid, I was also enamored by it. That's really cool. Let's try Come Get Some. I have no idea how this is going to go, though. Kind of crazy that this version exists at all, to be honest. If it loads.
Damn, those alien bastards are gonna pay for shooting up my ride.
So what I'm going to do very quickly here. Ooh. Let me grab the thing. Come on. Gonna do that just so like you can, just so you don't kind of have to put up with black borders the entire thing, because there we go. It is fixed. Saturn hardware pretty rare. I remember not seeing a single one even when they were still on sale. Yeah, so unfortunately, like, the Saturn just kind of suffered because it came out at the wrong time, and it was kind of very weirdly thought out. But if you've never played or seen Duke Nukem on Sega Saturn, you're in for a bit of a treat with this stream. The only issue with this port is it feels like you're always looking slightly upward. It does, and also when Duke turns, he kind of does this like bobbly head thing where he's like going right and then left and then right and then left. I was looking to get a Saturn years back fairly cheap. Nice. It's something that's definitely on my bucket list of things I want to buy, but unfortunately, but yeah, you can see like John Carmack would not appreciate what this port is like doing to the walls here. John Carmack would not appreciate.
Cool.
Okay, we're gonna jump in the window here. Oops, excuse me. There we go. So we know there's nothing behind there. So I gotta kind of get used to the controls a bit here. That's the main thing. Oh, warping. This looks like Quake, but with Duke Nukem sprites. Yeah, so this is on the same engine on the Sega Saturn. It's on the is it the Power Slave engine? Is that what it's called? I know that it powered Quake and it powers this on Sega Saturn. Slave driver engine. That's the one. Yeah. I was in the right ballpark. But yeah, unfortunately, one thing you'll notice about this port, it's very technically impressive for what it is. But unfortunately, you'll notice that like the texture warping is out of this world, and that is unfortunately part of the experience here. It runs well, it's smooth. Well, remember, I'm running this on an emulator, so you take with salt. But you know, on real hardware, it's not that much of a slouch. All right, let's take care of these. There's gonna be a lot more careful shooting in this run than there has been in previous runs. Ah, yes, of course. So, in order to look up, I have to press the X button, and then I have to press up and down. Right, cool. How do I open the door? The thing I want here is to open the door. Who's shooting me? Somebody's shooting me from up above. Are you using analog control? The game supports 3D pad. Yes, I am. I'm using a Xbox One controller for the purposes of this. Give me a second. Right, so just a second. I'm going to take one quick look here at something. I did configure this earlier on, so it should be it shouldn't be like this difficult. Isn't the PSX version fully optimized? It is for the PlayStation, yes. Yeah, so the thing with this port is like you've got to kind of look into it. You've got to look at it as it's kind of a product of its time. If you look at it now for what it is, kind of annoying we couldn't just like skip through that. Set to defaults. Okay. So I'm going to change the controls around ever so slightly, just because I was getting a bit confused there. So action is now that. Jump is that. Fire is that. Jump is that. Cool. And pitch is that. Oh, previous weapon should be that. Next weapon should be that. Strafe. Cool. Excellent. Okay, so everything's now set up as I want it to be. Cool. We're back. Kind of the opposite of Doom ports. Yeah, it's a bit.
Rock.
We'll go to Let's Rock because I feel like the challenge here is going to be surviving the encounters, not trying to beat them. Shading compatibility.
Those alien bastards are gonna pay for shooting up my ride.
Yeah, we've already looked at all this, so yeah, that's more natural for me. A button as jump is much more natural because I did have this set up earlier, but for some reason it's forgotten what I wanted to do. So who knows? Let's go. But yeah, I mean, the thing with the Sega Saturn is I don't think it was even that bad a platform. I think the problem is that... There we go. So I don't understand earlier when we were at that door why it was like refusing to let me in. Was like the game just like bouncing me out? Oh, hello. Yeah, so when I was using the use button earlier on, like it would not let me in that door. Like I was pushing the use button, or what it like said was the use button, and then I started pushing all the other buttons, and it was like not having it. Not sure what was going on there. You know, we're just gonna leave you right now, and we're gonna head down the stairs. Oh, hello. Yeah, if you've never played this version, it is worth hunting it down. Would you consider playing do video on Duke Nukem 1 or 2? I really want to. I just need to do research into them. That's so the only thing stopping me from doing a Duke Nukem 1 and 2 video is the fact that, you know,
Come get some.
I need to do more research into them. But I am open to it because I've done Duke Nukem forever, so once you kind of go forever, you don't really go back, do you? Let's be honest. So you can see the levels are not one-to-one recreations of the originals. NVIDIA's first graphics card is based on Saturn hardware, which says about Paris. Die. So what's interesting about this port is there's a lot of stuff's been ported over from the original PC version, but it's all been done in like a weird way. So like you kind of get to do the things you want to do in Duke Nukem, but not everything's as you remember it. So you kind of have to keep that in mind.
Groovy.
Also, Duke sort of rushes his voice lines. You can also see here, rather than having the lady be the thing that blows up, it's actually just the thing next to the lady. Oh geez, the warping textures in this game is wild. When I was a kid, I asked for Doom. The Saturn is slower at rendering stuff than PS1. 30 years I didn't know. Spent so much time looking at the yellow card in death row. I mean, it's impressive they got the mirrors in, because the N64 couldn't do the mirrors. In the N64 version, they took all the mirrors out, so I guess it's kind of interesting. Go. So here's where we start to really have fun, because now, as far as I'm aware, the way that we kind of use items in this is we kind of... So now we have to figure out how to fly. Because I remember it's kind of finicky. Let's see if I can work this out. Yeah. I remember in this version in particular, it's like it's a bit of a pain. I remember Duke being talk of the school. Yeah, Duke Nukem was the talk of school. Just hung by that broken wall. Yeah. Is that it? No, it's not that.
Oh.
Just hung by the wall. I know it's something to do with raising him up. You should make a live stream playing Duke Nukem PSX version. Well, we actually did the PSX version in one of the last streams, so you know, I have done a version of it. It's just I haven't done the actual real hardware playthrough of it yet. Seems we have some trouble, Nukem. Yeah, no. So the issue is trying to get fly. Because I remember when I caught footage for this for a video a long while back, I remember the flying was an issue in that as well, so, and I completely missed my mind to test that before we did the stream. You're not flying for. Yeah, so unfortunately, like in this version, like because it requires like a combination of button presses, you kind of have to get the combination on the dots, which is a shame. Woo! We blew it up. Let's go. Man, I'm afraid to check Saturn prices on eBay. I have no idea how much a Saturn would set you back at the minute. Oh, nice.
Let's rock.
Would you like to save your game? Yes, I think we should save the game. Also, you can see, yeah, you can see when I was last catching footage for this. Because you can see there, my previous saves. I spent like 300 quid on modded Japanese assassin, like $300. Yeah, it kind of terrifies me, the idea of having to purchase one. You'll also notice that a few of these levels have been changed. And this is one of the levels where everything's been really changed. So initially, you can see here, the sort of lift at the start is different. Does this game have any transparency effect? So you can see they've actually added quite a bit into this level. No idea why they chose to do that. Back it up. Let's back it up. My red light district. My red light district. Yeah. So like I said, they have gone through and changed quite a bit in this version of this level. So, you know, you kind of have to take that into consideration. Although it will be interesting to, can we crouch? We can jump. I don't think we can crouch in this version. I think the ability to crouch has been taken off us. So we can't do the little skip there. We actually need to go and get the blue key here, which we're going to do. Oh, they added a door there. Usually open that part. Yeah, normally you crouch down, but you can't actually crouch down in this version. You'll also notice that they've changed the way some of the doors behave. So the doors just kind of open like normal doors. There's no sort of revolving doors in this version. Go. Yeah, no, the Saturn was a good piece of kit. I think it's just, unfortunately, it came out, it was rushed out by Sega, who panicked when they saw the PlayStation and how it was doing. Hello, the RPG. Go. Okay, so we can still blow this wall up. Excellent. Yeah, no, so if you, the worst part is if you come into a room like this, just look at the walls. Look at the walls. Smooth as fuck. So the graphics in Duke Nukem are a bit off. Man, I wish this PS1 port was as good as Saturn one. The lighting is different too. This ain't all that bad. This is just different from the PC version. Yeah, so the thing is, like, look there, for example, normally in the PC version, the bookcase kind of opens, whereas in this one, it just sort of slides up. You can also see that because Duke can't crawl, they've made it so you can't jump on top of this. They just put the items in the corner. How very considerate of them. Move to use their own engine, still manages to capture that gritty. Yeah, so in truth, this isn't that bad. Like, once you kind of get used to it, like, it really isn't that bad.
Game, baby.
Oh, hello.
Who wants some?
So we've got ourselves the blue key here, which is great. You'll also notice in this version, there isn't a sign that comes down saying kill Duke Nukem. Yeah, so unfortunately, it's one of those things where they changed a bit, and they changed a bit there, and everything's a little bit different in this one. whether you think that's a good or bad thing, toxic will sort of come down to how tolerant you are of those issues. Okay. I did want to. Okay, go. So there's armor up here, and I want the armor. There we go. I mean, to be fair, Saturn port runs on Slave Driver, so there's going to be loads of differences. Yeah, exactly. This is not the same as the PC experience, and I think that's kind of important to keep in mind. We are not going down there, because if we go down there, I will probably not be able to get back out because I cannot use the jetpack for love or money. Like I said, this is really just to give people a flavour for the Saturn version. And one big change, I remember this from when I was playing through last time. I'll show you now, once I've killed these two. If I can kill these two. I love that he can shoot me through the pool table, but I couldn't shoot him. That was a bit rubbish. Yes, I can't shoot enemies through the pool table. That's a bit annoying. Oh, hello. Ooh, we are changing weapons. We are changing weapons there. Saturn disc. No, they were not running out of space. What would you say, N64 power? I'd say the N64 version in terms of playability, but this is still impressive for what it is. Like I said, I'm just having a bit of a time of it because, like, you do have to adapt to the fact that there are limitations in how this is working. Also, the fact they can shoot over objects and we can't. That's a bit of an annoying one. Because if you look here, when we shoot, it doesn't sort of register properly. Like if I tried to shoot that woman over there, let's see. Okay, I can. But when we were trying to shoot over the pool table downstairs, it wouldn't let me hit the enemies. Also, you can see here, we can crouch, but the game has to do it for us. It's one of those kind of situations. I wonder how this runs on runs better than Doom's port. Possibly. Like, I mean, I'm convinced that that's how we raise and fall when we are using the jetpack. If you're wondering what I'm doing, by the way, I'm scouting for health because we are kind of running a bit low, and I do feel that I'm probably going to die when I go into that nightclub section if I don't find some health, but I think I might have used it all. So we're just going to have to run the risk. But no guts, no glory. That's what it is. Go back to the bar. Yeah, it uses the... there's a little culling. Yeah, I'm at the bar. What do you want me to do? So I'm going to the bar. What do you want to talk about? Can you drink water in this version? At the hallway of the bar, when you look down, the world glitches. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it kind of does. Look down the hallways and strafe. A second. Don't know if we can recreate it. This is what you... Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work. Unfortunately, I didn't spot anything. Oh, good luck, my man. You'll need it. Thank you, Log. Using an emulator. Yes, I'm using an emulator because obviously I don't actually own a Sega Saturn. Wow, you came flying out of there, didn't you? It's kind of annoying that it doesn't default to it doesn't like selecting the chain gun from the weapons menu. Oh, we're gonna die here. Oh, we're gonna die here. Whew, okay. Cool. So I'm upgrading that need from health from need to kind of essential here. Gonna leg it for this health. Okay. Nothing killed us. That's good.
Hail to the king, baby.
Cool. One thing you can say, Saturn MCS is pretty good these days. Into depends. It's pretty hit and miss. One thing I will say though is look how colourful this room is. Like they really like bathed the world in the colours of the that they were trying to give here. Wolf 3D uses codes to determine what to render. Did Wolf 3D have culling? I have no idea. Okay, we're gonna die. We're definitely dying here. I like when Duke dies, by the way. He just kind of looks up at the ceiling. It's like, bye. Luckily, we saved at the start, so it's not like a complete loss. Is this the same engine as Saturn Quake? Yes, it is. It is indeed. We were discussing that earlier. Yes, this engine is what produces some of the best 3D games on Saturn. Patch is more powerful by quite a lot. Just very time consuming to develop for. It's very time consuming, and it didn't take off because it was rushed to market. Again, you have to remember, like when they pushed Saturn out the door in the US early and no one was ready for it, that was like a death wish for the console. Let's go. Oh my god. So because there's like a little stool prop in the way, it's like it's stopping me from grabbing the RPG even though it's right in front of me, which is very irritating. We don't need to go back in the bathroom. What we'll do is grab that and that. Why does this version make Duke feel like he's really small, by the way? The perspective of all the objects in the world in this one feels very, very off. Where did you get the info on Saturn was rushed to markets? That's simply not true. In the US it was. I mean, they literally stood up on at E3 and said, we're launching it now, and a bunch of the major US retailers were simply not ready, and several of them didn't want to stock it. So that, I mean, that's factually what happened with the Saturn in North America. Didn't happen in Japan. In Japan, it was given a full launch period for everyone to get ready, but in North America, it was a complete shit show. Like Saturn, the fact is they panicked because they saw the PlayStation was going to reach market first. I didn't use the original. In the US retail was a shit show, but in Japan. Yeah, no, I'm not talking about the Japanese one, because the Japanese launch was actually pretty well handled. Because the Saturn had great momentum early on in its existence in Japan. But for some reason, Sega looked at that and was like, well, what if we rushed it to the America? You also have to remember that the American market had also just had the 32X released. So Sega was kind of swamping the market with hardware for For no reason. They didn't need to do that. Dawson. Wait, you mean Dawson? Have you played DOS? Have you played DOSBox version of Duke Nukem? I mean, I played Duke Nukem on DOS back in the day, if that's what you're asking me. Oh no, sorry, no. So I'm talking about the American launch because for some reason, because that was the whole thing. They stood up on stage at E3 and went, "We're launching it now," and none of the retail partners that Sega had lined up were ready. They weren't even close to ready, and none of the games were ready. Like it was like I will never understand why they did that. Why they didn't just go, "We'll wait, and we'll have a battle with Sony." They panicked. That's all you can really say about it. So yeah, you can still use the toilets in this version. It's important to have a distinction of what launch you mean, because Saturn had a very different launch depending on the region. Have you seen the work done by XL2 on YouTube? Duke made his own engine for Saturn. Ah, I've never seen that. To be honest, like the Saturn's a console I don't really have that much experience with, hands-on experience with at least. Just because in the UK, the Saturn wasn't really a big deal. Like everyone I knew growing up had PlayStations. No one had a Sega Saturn. So if you're wondering what I'm doing, we're just grabbing the portable med kit from here, and then we are going. I finished this on Saturn, then had a little education on PC. So I finished it on Saturn because when I was recording footage, I had to get all the way to the last level because the stadium level in this is hilarious. What we're going to do here, my dad apparently had a Sega Saturn, unfortunately I never inherited. I'm sorry to hear about that. Like I said, I to be honest, as a kid, I never saw a Sega Saturn in the wild. Whoa, that really just blew up on me there, didn't it?
Some.
Oh my God, we are gonna die here. We are gonna die here. I really don't want to die here. Please don't want to die here. I like how he's sniping me around that corner. I really like that. I like the audacity of that. That was. There was a level of audacity to that there, and that made me chuckle. Grab that health in the corner. As a technical showpiece, this is a great showcase for what the Saturn could have achieved. Oh my God, we are gonna die here. Look at me, like, pulling out the rocket launcher because I'm like, I really don't want to die here. Thank you. Okay. Get this. Okay. Oh my God, okay. Oh my. There we go. Just dropping in to say that you're interested in playing something new for the Saturn. Potentially, yeah. Which playing Saturn game achieved this.
Rocket.
I meant in the broader sense. If they'd made engines and games that played to the Saturn's strengths on a more consistent basis, I don't think the Saturn would have had nearly as difficult a time. Unfortunately, like I said, a lot of those early games in the US market were just rushed because. At least if I die here, I'm not going to lose all my weapons.
Cool.
There we go. Kick to the face. That's all that needed to happen there. Woof.
Who wants some?
Hello, you. Gonna be needing that, I think. Silence, discipline, remorse. Imagine how cool Doom Saturn would have been if it had been made by this engine. Well, John Carmack would have probably died a painful heart attack-induced death if he'd been forced to let that happen. Oh wait, there's no switch in this version, is there?
Where is it?
Who's shooting me? Go away. Okay. Is it on like the back of the thing? Oh, you just open it in this version. I mean, that's definitely a change. So you don't even get...
That's one doomed Space Marine.
Oh, okay. Excellent. So, can I get the chain gun behind you, or are you just going to be in the way the whole time? There we go.
Cool.
Carmack was wrong. Doom 64 tramples PS1 Doom. Depends what you're looking for. Because if you're looking for like a pure Doom experience, I know people might not appreciate Doom 64 because Doom 64, like, it does its own thing for good and bad. Once again, we are low on health. Oh, we didn't get any health back there. That's a bit annoying. So yeah, you noticed that we didn't get any health back when we used the toilet. As a PC gamer, I agree PS1 Doom is cool, though when you come from PC it's kind of pointless. Strange seeing this slightly altered layout and placements. Yeah, so most of the changes they've made, it seems, are to accommodate the fact that you can't crawl. That seems to be the kind of major change that they've focused on. So if I shoot this... Yeah, there we go. So I can at least give myself an atomic health. Also, I love how here you can see the things aren't spinning in this version. Normally these spin around. They try to make this a bit more difficult, but as you can see, they've just decided that these being here is difficult enough in this version. Keeps expectations very loose.
Who wants some?
Carmack would have no arguments. Look at how models twitch and ripple quirk engine due to low precision calculations necessary. Now I see why Duke Advance is infinitely better textures. So we're going to drop down. There we go. See, I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. You've got to learn the controls in this version. Because Duke handles very differently in this version to the other versions. Excuse me, why did you take 3 shots there to die? That was rude. Huh. Normally it takes 2 shots with a shotgun and that's it. Clank, clank, dead. Does this work with analog controls? Yes, so as Squirrel mentioned earlier on, this game actually does support analog controls, and this is me using them. I prefer the D-pad controls just because it gives me a tiny bit more control. But to be honest, like if you spent time getting used to them, they're not that bad. You'll also notice, as a byproduct of the fact that you can't duck, they've got rid of the laser trip mines here. So you can see, like, normally you'd have to fight your way through some laser trip mines, but they've clearly decided that, like, that was not really feasible. Is it bad that I beat the PS1 version of the main campaign but couldn't even make it halfway through the 5th episode? Quake 2, Wave Raid 64. So again, no trip mines appeared there. The game was very different. It's a different experience, some of these puzzles, because obviously they've had to change it to fit into the limited sort of movements of Duke Nukem 3D. I recommend trying the Alien Trilogy on Saturn. I'm actually going to be doing a video on that in the new year. That's a game that I'm so interested by because of how important it is to Jaguar as a console. So yeah, that is a game that I'm going to be covering pretty in depth in the new year. Because I remember when that came out, like that blew minds. Alien on Jaguar. Getting rid of these annoying turrets. The turrets are the most annoying thing here. You can see me being a lot more deliberate in my movements here. I'm not... I want to get up there, but the thing is, every time I jump up here, he sort of slips off. It's weird. Yeah, look, he just slips right off there. Huh, okay. I think it wants me to use the jetpack to get up there, but I'm not going to use the jetpack to get up there because, like, we'll be here all night trying to figure that one out. In fact, you know what? Let's go in here. This is a safe area, so we can try to figure out the jetpack here. Jag had Alien vs Predator, which was a good game. That's the one I'm going to be covering, hopefully. Okay. So I'm just pressing... Okay, so I'm pressing different combinations of buttons here. Trying to kind of see, like, how we actually go up and down with this jetpack. So that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I have to press the jump button, and then I have to jam the shoulder buttons, which are like the what do they do when the jetpack's not on? Yeah, they strafe. Okay, cool. So now that we know this, let's use this to our advantage. There we go. See, we experimented and we found out. That's how you do it. Who needs online help? Ah, see, they've got rid of the middle section there. Ooh, hello, goodbye. I'd never like having the RPG out in this version. Because, like, as soon as I go up to a wall, I'm going to smash that rocket right into my face. Don't use the jetpack to get to atomic health. That's just a waste here, lol. I mean, to be fair, like, I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use the jetpack very much. It's quite fiddly in this version.
Want some?
So you can see this room has been completely altered. They've got rid of the sort of alien in the center of the room.
Cool.
Ooh, hello.
Want some?
Right, so we do have trip mines here, though. Cool. Yo, what's up? I'm back for playing Quake 2 for the first time. In hindsight, cartridges were absolutely the correct choice for the N64. I think so as well, because they took out the load times. People don't appreciate the fact that PS1 games, the load times were sometimes really silly on those games.
Get medieval on your asses.
Excellent. I love that this is marked as a secret, by the way, but we have to come here anyway, so you know. I also love, by the way, that they didn't have any exploding walls there. It just basically guided us here. Now let's talk about that water. Okay. Okay. Oh, for God's sake. So what was strange there is that they were actually shooting me from inside the submarine. They were actually shooting me through the little hole. So I had no health. Looks like water from PS1 2 mouth. Yeah, I know, right? Topical. I like that. So yeah, what made that really irritating there is that they were actually shooting me from within the submarine. So like even when I was underwater, they were still shooting through to me because they could see me, but I wasn't allowed to see them. So that was fun.
Come get some.
The thing is though, now that I have a good idea of what the level is going to be like, we can try bombing through it. I said try. You see, now that we know this, we can just do this. We can come inside here, shoot you before you're a problem.
That's one doomed space marine. Movie.
Best thing about dying in Death Row, you automatically start off with no weapons. Yeah, so there's one. I mean, like I said, there is advantages. So it's not this. That's why I'm not too fussed about like the annoyance. But the issue is like when you're underwater, it has the same controls as the jetpack. Go.
Who wants some?
Good thing I grabbed that atomic health, isn't it? you out.
Into the game, baby.
Okay, I do not want to. As I said, I'm never a fan of having the RPG out in this version unless I really need it out. That was some blood fuckery. PS1 kind of add to the truth. Not wrong, small memory cache. Yeah, you have to remember, like, we're living with at the time, like, this was still very impressive. PS1's version of Duke Nukem was nowhere near as impressive as this, I'd argue. Probably just because it was a bad performer. Okay, so there was actually a thing there. Because earlier on it wasn't there. I'm guessing the pig cop must have triggered it.
What a mess.
That's what I like about this. We're learning. We're learning as we're playing through. Take you out. It's amazing how much better Duke runs on Saturn than Doom ran on Saturn. Well, that's because they weren't. That's because on Saturn, Doom was developed by Rage Software, who had an idea, and John Carmack said, "What if I said no to your idea and made you do something really stupid that you don't want to do?"
Cool.
Classic Carmack. You know, the Doom community really needs to come up with a meme for that. Like, classic Carmack. Say no to something just because it wasn't his baby. I'm all for starting that meme here if you want. Classic Carmack. PS1 Duke was merely software rendered. Yeah, it was the bare minimum with some new music slapped over it. It wasn't like, it wasn't anything groundbreaking, unfortunately. I realised we didn't actually go into that prison, that cell, did we? John Carmack was a genius, not a people person. Yeah, and you can kind of hear that from some of the stories from people who interact with him. Don't get me wrong, like, amazing brain, but the man behind the brain, yeah, let's very, very weird at times. The guy plays desk in the hallway just to boss people around. I mean, the thing is, like, and I said this during the during the Doom streams. If you became a millionaire overnight like he did and everyone else at id Software did, you'd probably develop a bit of an ego. It's easy to look out from the outside and go, you know, I wouldn't, but, you know, money like that changes people, even if they don't want it to change them. Never be rich. Never get too rich. Awesome version. Yeah, no, hey, a little snow fairy Sega. How you doing? Hey, Saga, how you doing? How you doing? No, most managers do that. He's just bad at that one. So, there's nothing wrong with having an ego, provided you can back it up. And with Carmack, he could definitely back it up in the technical department. But his desire, his boner for rage was very misguided, I feel. If there was a time where I feel like his hubris really kind of overtook everything else, it was when Rage was being developed, because I think he kind of fell in love with that project a bit more than he should have. For God's sake. We are going to be stuck on this level until the end of time, aren't we? I forgot about Rage. Still tired, been studying for finals. I hope that goes really well. Hope your finals go well for you. Better than this level's going for me right now. Like, Yeah, everyone forgets about Rage, but Rage was his baby. Rage was like his big technical masterpiece, and he forgot that like you have to put a game in there that everyone wants to play. And I think he was a little surprised when people didn't really buy into Rage because it was dry as sand to actually experience. I may as well die. I forget that in this version, you basically have to sort of get enemies to move out the way. You can't really sort of jimmy past them. Yeah, unfortunately, like this version. Let's go. It has its quirks, and you've got to get used to them quickly. Makes me glad Doom 4 was cancelled. Well, I mean, to be fair, Carmack was one of the people who pushed against Doom 4, the version that was cancelled, because he kind of saw that because he was so focused on Rage, he wasn't really paying attention to Doom. So that's kind of why Doom became a bit of a mess. I go playing this version and I always notice the difficulty for sure. Yeah, so this version is like you're fighting against the controls, you're fighting against like a lot of the just general jankiness, but like I said, it's a fun experience. It's definitely a different one if you've never actually made your way out to experience it. I'm not really taking this too seriously either. Like, I'm not playing this like, oh, you know, I've got to finish this, you know, 100% it tonight. It's like, no. I'll have fun with it. I like, by the way, the atomic health fell on my head there, and the game didn't quite know what to do with that.
That's one doomed Space Marine.
There we go.
Want some?
You're gonna start complaining about war, guys. Who's complaining about war? We don't want to do that in this chat, because every time someone brings up walk in the chat, people start arguing, people get upset. It's like, I prefer people didn't bring politics in. Just enjoy the game. Don't enjoy the game. Laugh at the game. Laugh at me. But let's keep it friendly for everyone, because like I said, there's been a few times where people bring politics into the chat and then they get a bit whingy when people don't agree with them. So let's not, is my one on that. Because frankly, I don't care what your opinion is, and I don't think most people in the chat care which side of the political spectrum you're on.
Who wants some?
People start crying. No, I'm just saying, like, we've had it recently in the chat where I've sort of let it slide. I've let people say what they want, and then people get annoyed. People sort of argue and then they go off in a bit of a stroff, and it's like, okay, this is why I don't really talk about politics when it comes up, because it's like people want to talk, people don't want to listen. And right now, all that's on my brain is how shitty this version of Duke Nukem is. I'm not thinking about anything else. Actually, I don't think this is a shitty version of Duke Nukem. That was very mean. What I should say is this interesting version of Duke Nukem. I saw best advice about politics is same as religion. Just join Fight Club. Yeah, exactly. Just like there's plenty of people on this site who will indulge your political discussions. So feel free to endow their chats. Exactly. This port is good for it. So this port is good for what it is, but like I'd never make the argument this should be ported forward. Like this port is exactly what it is.
Want some?
See, that's why I don't like having the RPG out. That was a learnable moment. That was a learnable moment, and you all got to see that in real time.
Cool.
Wait, did that pig cop just die like instantly? I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just like, okay, thanks for that. Maybe we should quit and go back to tweak controls. I put strafing on L1 and R1, which I found worked really well. So I have it set to the like shoulder buttons, but I might change it if it kind of continues to annoy me. Oh yeah, I need to. Excuse me. Yeah, we've moved on. Like, let's talk about Duke Nukem, or talk about gaming, or tell me about how your day was. I don't want to hear the word walk because then I'll know that like you weren't listening. Well, that was definitely not worth it. I mean, this stream's basically going to be this level at this point. So I know there's some health out here. What I'll do, I'll grab that. Thing is, I can activate this, and there we go. We can be over here before like the enemies even know what's happening. There we go. See, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. It just takes. We just have to prepare. That's it. So now we've got a ton of health. We got ammo galore. Please, it's toxic as fuck. That was the best advice teach gaming college. Hey, Crestline, by the way, minus the Fight Club pack. Anyhow, Saturn soundtrack's really good. Saturn soundtrack is really good. Probably the best thing about this whole thing. Who's shooting? This level is shitty no matter which version. Oh wait, there is actually a thing. Excellent. Let's do that. It's just set up differently than in this version. Let's go. See, look at me getting rid of all the enemies. Yeah, the water looks really rough in this version. There's no two ways about it. Why does this player make the same sound when you get hit in this version? I don't know. Like, I'm guessing it was done as a memory thing. But yeah, the water texture just looks hilarious. Like, really, really bad. See, again, they're shooting me through the water. That's like really annoying because they get an advantage on me before I can even see them. That's really annoying, but it doesn't matter. We've got rid of the secrets at the back there. Doesn't bother me. We're gonna leave this level. Oh, gosh, the the bar music in the PS1 version is the best. I agree. The bar music's great. Sending a quick message. Cool.
Rockin'.
So, in an hour, we've done 3 levels. That's something. Yes, we will be saving, please. I love old shitty consoles. They'd have to make the water service transparent like Power Slave did. Yeah, you're a winner. You're a winner. Yes, I agree.
Should've known those alien maggots booby-trapped the sub.
Oh god. Well, if you didn't like swimming in the previous level, this level's going to make you absolutely fall in love with it. We do not have any health. Excellent. This is good. This is a good spot to be in. Well, that's kind of annoying. Like, there's no kind of warm-up with the Octobrains in this version. They just kind of launch their thing at you. That's, thanks for that.
I should have known.
Wait, it's 3:30 AM. It is indeed 3:30 AM. Take you out from a distance. Yes, sorry. It's like handling a broken trolley when you're gliding Duke Nukem under the water like this. Please, just die. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so you probably can't tell, but I'm fighting the controls every inch of the way here. This is definitely acquired taste territory. Okay, well, that was absolutely not worth it to come in here. I love when people hate my favorite versions of games. No, so I like this version for what it is, but I also think that like there are very obvious issues with it that I would be, but that doesn't mean I hate it. If you want me to talk about the one I hate, I'll talk about the PlayStation version, because that on real hardware is just not fun. I like how we are just a bit too low to shoot them. Shoot in the head. Are you playing with 3D controls? I'm playing with an Xbox One controller, so I think so. It does have analog controls, if that's what you're asking. It looks like they've got rid of that, and it looks like they got rid of that. Okay. Are you going to jump for me? Are you going to jump for me, Duke? I don't think you're going to jump for me, are you? Yeah, so he doesn't like jumping in the water. Unless it's at like an edge. He really doesn't like that. So the only way I think we can get on top of that submarine here is to run from over here. Although you see, they've put all the secrets on top. So yeah, so they've changed how the submarine works in this version. I don't see much granular in your movements. Try moving the analog stick very slightly. Duke should walk very slowly. No, there's none of that here, unfortunately. I'm using the D-pads anyway. I like I said, I find the D-pads gives me a tiny bit more precision, but it's just personal preference. kill everything. That's why controls you're not enabled the 3D controls in the emulator. Well, unfortunately, we'll just have to make do. Although I am gonna go to the toilet in a minute, so I will probably wait. So hold up a minute. I love this, by the way. I love this. We need to talk about this. So in this section, you need to be shrunk down normally here. But you can see here, they've actually just sort of made them little walkways that you can walk into. Give me a second. So we can't go inside there. Can we go in there? It's fine when you do. We feel better. 3D controls refers to the stick. Yeah, Duke can walk if you slightly tilt the stick forward. Yeah, so unfortunately, as you can see here, I'm going to slowly tilt it forward. You'll see that I don't really have that as a function. I love how like pleasant this is. This is a very pleasant lift and drop.
Come get some.
Oh right, I forgot about that. Let's sort that out before we even get there.
Groovy.
Right, so we got the red key card here. The analog control of this game is sublime. I highly recommend fixing your emulator. I will do in the future. Yeah, so if I was to do this again, I would do. Let's jump in here. Unfortunately, like I said, like I'm aware that emulation is not the ideal way to experience this, but unfortunately, it is the only way I have access to here. Oh my god, can you look at that? So this is what counts as shrunk in this version, by the way. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, is this the end of a level? Oh. Okay. Oh. Yeah, no, they split this level into two. Right, I'm going to quickly go to the toilet. I'll be back in a minute and then we'll carry on. Just give me like a minute or two because I did drink a lot of water earlier. Hello, hello, hello. I'm back. Hello. So the thing with this version is that I feel like it would be better to experience this on real hardware. This is one of the reasons why I really, 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 really want a Sega Saturn, so I can play games like this in their native form, because I feel like that would be a lot better. Although there's no actual evidence of that. Like, you know, I might be setting myself up on that one. Whoa. You. I played this on emulator. I can't remember which emulator is very good. You'll have to let me know which one, because maybe if I switch emulators, it might make the experience a bit better. But yeah, unfortunately with Sega Saturn emulation, it's very much game to game. Some games are really easy to emulate, and some games are just an absolute travesty. Excuse me. You cannot be there. But yeah, I agree with what you said before I left, Squirrel. I am never a fan of this level. Never, never, never a fan of this level. This level, for me, it goes on too long. It's just not that fun. Mr. Saturn's pretty good at this point. I'll have a look into it. It's like with Jaguar. The thing with Jaguar is emulation for that's bad as well. So you've got to, it's a case of just finding an emulator that works on a per game basis. But that's one of the reasons why I was up front at the start of the stream about, you know, this being emulation, because unfortunately with this game and with us as well, you know, it's pretty obvious when you're rocking an emulator versus when you're rocking real hardware. See, the thing as well is you can't shoot switches in this version. Ooh, I don't like... Oh, no, I did not like that. This in the Abyss are absolute shite. Yeah, I mean... So the idea for a video, the next Duke Nukem video, I'm going to be talking about this episode in particular, because this episode is like such a yo-yo, like between, it's got two really great opening levels, and then it goes absolutely like off a cliff. And I don't understand why they did that. Face prize for the small contingencies lobotomy made. They made a good choice. To be fair, like, I think they did the best they could with the situation they were handed here. Like, clearly a lot of effort went into this, because this was not just a port job. This isn't like the PS1 version where it's like really obvious that, you know, they didn't put that much thought into what they were doing. And I am convinced that the PS1 version could have been a lot better. Lame Duke took a look at. Why not Lame Duke videos? Would be interesting. I mean, I can do it at some point. It's not a case of not wanting to, it's a case of finding time to. Well, yeah, of course, we just go up, don't we? We don't actually need to hit a switch at this point. So. The music's very weirdly rocking on this level, isn't it? Let's go. So what I love, by the way, is they put the atomic health there, because in the PC version there's a crack in the wall here, and clearly they were just like, well, what can we do with this atomic health? Just put it outside. You know, no one's gonna care. No one's really gonna care that much. Well, here I am 30 years later to care. Lost playing Quake 2 multiplayer. The PS1 version of victim of ambition in trying to bring build engines to PS1 untouched. It was just a bad idea. I would have rather they'd done something like this. At least if they'd done that, then at least you would have been able to get better experience out of it. I find PS1 Doom very frustrating, which is why the other day when I streamed it, I played the PC mod of it rather than the actual version, because I find playing the PS1 version just annoys me. You know, you could have just locked onto them. You know, nothing was stopping you, game. Nothing was stopping you. I'm just saying. Go down. See, the problem is I have to line myself up with this switch to get it to activate. There we go. There we go. Quake 2 on PS1 isn't Quake 2. Oh, see, they got rid of the thing here as well. They just got rid of the the thing that spins around here, the turbine. they really just said, whatever. Oh my god, again! As we're coming up out of the water, we get attacked. That is so bad. That is so bad. I'm sorry. I love that the water, by the way, here. I love that the water doesn't flow like it does in the PC version. It's literally just like a moving image on the floor. That tickles me so much. Like it works in some points like this, but it doesn't work in other points. That's got me. Okay. Pretty sure they removed them because of how chunky Duke hitbox is. Quite possibly. I mean, well, they've not removed them because here they are here, but they just don't move. The water is not safe in this version of Duke. The water is not safe. Oh my god, you really just came in there, didn't you? That's pretty funny. So instead of making you kind of run around there, you know, and like hit the switch and all that stuff, they literally make you just jump on the platform like you're fucking Mario. What happened there, I realized I was out of health, and I realized that if I stopped to fight all those Octobrains in that sort of water tunnel, I was going to get absolutely minced. So I was trying to rush through. Yeah, on real hardware, PS1's graphics are wonky, wonky donkeys. If you've ever watched SMTV Live, Wonky Donkey was a great segment. And you're now thinking of the theme song. If you're American, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Which is probably given, because like most people here probably are from America. I'm British and I have no idea what you're talking about. You didn't? Did you not watch SMTV Live when it was like popular back in the late 90s, early 2000s? Maybe it's just because I'm that old. Maybe it's just because I was the right age for that. I started gaming in 1985. I was 6. Nice.
Baby.
Congratulations, I was born in 1988 and started gaming basically from the moment I could process the world. Oh, excellent. Oh, there is a crack in the wall there. Interesting. Oh, oh no, there's not a crack in the wall. It's just like bullet shots. Okay. Well, the low res got me there. The low res got me there. I started with Sega Mega Drive. My first gaming system was the Master System. Well, okay, so I say it was my first gaming system. It's the first one we had in the house. I think it was my older sister's. She had because she had Alex. It was the one with Alex Kidd built into it. I think so. I think it was the second model. Oh, who remembers Alex Kidd? There's a franchise you've probably not thought about in a good long time. Hear me, Sega. Yeah, no, so my first video game was actually Golden Axe Warrior on the Master System. Never used to play it properly. I used to just run around attacking things, but, you know, that's all that the game really needed to be. Master System gets slapped on. It does because it didn't do well in America. And a lot of Americans only know of it because a lot of its games got ported to the Game Gear. That's the only reason that a lot of people even know what the Master System is. It's a real shame because I think the Master System was a great console. Fancy Stars 10 out of 10. I would never ever impress the PlayStation outside Killzone. I mean, so the thing for me is I kind of gave up the whole console tribalism thing around the end of the Xbox 360 era because it just kind of I didn't find it interesting anymore to do that. It's very much not interesting to do now that Microsoft's basically yanked itself out of the console race. Nice. Going to switch weapons here. Wasn't much I could do about that. I had to kind of take that on the chin. I was never impressed by Simple. I grew up on N64. That's good. I had an N64. That was the first console I ever had bought for me. My brother got a PlayStation one Christmas and I got a N64. And he was very pro PlayStation. He was very pro PlayStation. All your favorite games are PC? No. When I was growing up, the N60, like I said, the N64 really had a hold on me as a kid. Still don't care in the slightest. Fair. But this time around, I'm just going to kill them. Last time I tried to leave them alive, and I felt like that condemned me to certain death. So this time round, I'm going for the kill everything route. If we kill everything, it can't kill me. The new Master System was very much focused on Sonic. Yep, Sonic 1 and 2. Although to be fair, like the Master System has a bunch of great games on it. Because I'll be honest, like a lot of the time when I was a kid, we didn't have a PC until like '95. So a lot of my early gaming experience came through the Master System. Oh God. Do not ask me, by the way, what is going on with the hood down there. The hood was very much trying to break there. Okay, we got you in the end. Let's just take our time this time. I'm not going to mess around too much. There's a ton of health here. If I just stopped at the last run, we would have made it through this whole thing. I didn't have PC until late in the 90s. It's been interesting here, a lot of polls for First Strikes era. So does Fantasy Star Online. To Americans, Master System is that weird Alf game and some badass ports. Yeah, unfortunately Americans didn't really take the Master System to heart, but it's good in a way because that's why we got the Mega Drive so quickly, because Sega was so willing to kind of move on to that. By the way, so again, I need to point out, I love that in the PC version you get pushed along here, whereas in this version it's kind of like you're gently being guided along. There we go. Oh, that was not nice of you, was it? Dare we go to the secret level? We do not. We do not. Dare go. Actually, you know what? Let's go to the secret level. I changed my mind. Let's go to the secret level. I changed my mind. Let's go. Nintendo did exclusive deals blocking. Yeah. Also blew my mind when I realized MX1, Calico, and Sega were literally identical hardware that could run each other's ROMs. Oh, I didn't know that. Sega has many MSX ports.
Let's rock.
Wonder Boy and Dragon's Trap. Yeah. Maybe on the new channel, instead of doing a review every NES thing, I should do like a review every Master Systems thing. Okay, at least we got a health pack at the start. That's nice. The NES is a very shitty console, but had some great games. But that's the trick with that's the thing with Nintendo, though, isn't it? They make really good games on really meh hardware. It's just one of the really good key skills. They're really good at that one thing. So I'm pretty convinced we're going to die. Yeah, I'm pretty convinced we're going to die when we go into there, so we're not even going to bother.
I needed that.
We did need that. That's funnily enough, we really did need that. Okay, it did. I didn't hear a boom there, so I was a bit like, did that actually kill anything? It did. I feel like I'm the only person totally nerding out at the lighting. You have no idea how insane this is for the time. No. Like, because this has very complex lighting. I agree with you. Unfortunately, I can't admire the lighting too much because I've got to figure this. Oop. Oh, good health. I heard you needed that. Thank you, game. I needed that. I'm up. When the NES launched in 1983, it was powerful. Well, it was the Famicom, yeah, but I agree with what you're saying there. The Famicom was well marketed for its time. Did switch on. Yeah. I never understood quite why they kept changing the names between the regions, because obviously Famicom and NES, they're effectively one and the same, but like they kind of are treated very differently by Nintendo fans. Weird. Well, when I first played this map, I didn't have 2 brute force because I thought... This is a good level, to be fair. I do like this level. Like I said, it's just that we're playing this on a very... I need to be a lot more aggressive, I think. I think in this version I've got to be more aggressive. Well, that's why I don't like going under the water there. Kill you. You can't say that. It's not in the book. And if you know what that's from, you earn a cookie in the chat. Not a real cookie, because I don't have the budget for a real cookie. Hitchhiker's Guide. No, it's from a Grand Theft Auto 3 when the helicopter starts chasing you in Grand Theft Auto 3. That's the conversation they have with you when they're trying to shoot you from the helicopter. You know what? Let's do that. I'm going to do this. There we go. That's how you deal with that problem. That's how you deal with that problem without thinking about it too much. Better graphics, but trash games. The story of Atari 7800 is fascinating. I need to look into that because obviously A tie was a massive thing back in the day, and then obviously it kind of cannibalized itself. Kill you. Let's kill. Let's do that. Let's grab that atomic health in the middle here. There we go. Oh, that'll become useful. 7800 was made to compete with the ColecoVision. Even everyone says it was competing with the NES. False information. Super MES is 1986. Yeah, so I thought NES was 1985 in the US. Am I wrong on that? I thought it was 1985. Because I whenever I talk about it in videos, I usually say 1985 with NES. Really? You got to do all that health, that damage to me, and I got to do nothing. Yeah, so the thing is, because when I do all my research, I retain a lot of the information, so it becomes kind of useless information in my head. So like stuff like launch dates, like the NES and that kind of thing, it's just kind of stuck in my head now. Because I'll tell you, before I kind of researched, oh wow, okay, they put the Devastator here for some reason. Nice. Not gonna complain. We're just gonna accept it for what it is. Yeah, one thing running this YouTube channel has done for me, it really has kind of given me like the ability to retain like lots of information, even if something does get mangled. Famicom disc is weaker than the actual NES. Oh, I didn't know that. See? So far, this looks like it's more interesting than the PS1 version, but not quite as interesting. I would agree with you on that one. I think this is like the weird middle child. It's not as expansive as the changes in N64 Duke, but I think it's more interesting to talk about than PS1 Duke Nukem. Okay, so in this version it doesn't blow up at all. That's a bit of a letdown. I wanted the boom. Normally that shuttle breaks blows up, by the way, but in this version it's like, nah, you just look at it. Xbox lost to competition because of the games. Unfortunately, they had solid games. Sorry, I was talking about Japan release. No, that's fine. It was 85. Yeah, I thought NES was 1985. Yeah. The textures in this version look stretched. Well, it's not that they're stretched, it's that they warp. So, whenever you hear anyone talk about Sega Saturn Doom, you'll hear them talk about how John Carmack wanted to avoid texture warping. And texture warping is when textures kind of mangle and misalign around you because of the way that the game engine is presented. So like sometimes you'll see like the textures just start randomly kind of rippling and such. PS1 games were bad for it, but you can see here, like, look at that texture on the wall there. It's like it's stretching and it's like it's gooping. It's one of those things. See, I'm glad we came to the secret level. I'm glad that you know, you all talked me into it. Well, you didn't really talk me into it, but I kind of thought it'd make it for fun. It'd make it for fun times. PS1 has way worse texture shopping. It does. PS1, like in some of its 3D games, like you only have to walk down a corridor for it to start rippling. It's like the walls are alive. So yeah, I agree with you on that one. Especially play Metal Gear Solid 1 on real PS1 hardware. I guarantee, like you will see the textures moving. PS1 really was dog shitting for its time, but massive marketing won everyone over. Well, it didn't help that Sony didn't really know what they were doing with the hardware. They kind of just put it together and were like, hey, is this going to be good?
Cool.
But that's what the advantage is when, you know, you've got a huge marketing budget behind you. You can... I like, by the way, that there isn't a canyon. Is there a canyon thing here? Oh, there is here. See, they've still got the cinematic moments in here. That's good. No, I don't want to quit. PS1 was built for speed. It's an incredibly fast 3D computer. However, its incredible speed comes at the cost of poor accuracy. Saturn has a title in front of the box, unprecedented power, but really no way to amaze in any way. Like I said, I think it's a shame because I think if the Saturn had just been, if it had arrived a bit earlier, I feel like people wouldn't compare it so aggressively to the PlayStation, but it's what happens when bad timing happens. You'll notice as well there's a lift here. That was not in the PC version, let me tell you. N64 was really powerful for its time. Well, in terms of like crunching 3D. But it also couldn't compete with the PlayStation in terms of storage. Because even though cartridges are better for speed, you know, the ROM sizes had to be limited. Oh my god, this bit's outside. That's weird. Normally this is inside. This music is also not very fitting for this level. I need to say that out loud. I feel like this music is not fitting for a boss level. Putting a less touch away. PS1 is like if you run a Ferrari engine in a junker, it'd be fast. Go, go, go. Don't stop. We're gonna fly over here quickly. I do love how they like try to handle some of these little changes they've had to make here. You can tell that like some of these like no thought was put into like what was going to be changed. Is this still a teleporter? It is. Oh. Oh, okay, so it brings us to this lady. Normally this lady's further in the level. Okay, I mean, didn't mean to use steroids there, but... Yeah, so here she is. She's here. I wish Resident Evil 2 was on Saturn. I need to play. You know what I really want to play on the new channel? Saturn Tomb Raider. I've never actually played Sega Saturn Tomb Raider, and it's something that I really want to experience on real hardware. Okay, so how do we open this then? Assassin is great. Okay, so I'm really confused here. What are we meant to do? Oh, the switch is here. They've literally moved this. No, they've not. The switch has not been moved over here. Huh. I guess we have to go in here. I'm guessing we have to do something a bit different here. Do 3D made by memory. Yeah, this is what happens if you were to make Duke Nukem by memory. It's clearly not here. I'm really confused. Are we meant to? Have they changed this level around that much that like we don't need to do that? Because I'm getting pretty if that's the case. I just want to know. Yeah, no, I think they've just made it so that you just come over here. I don't think you actually have to do the shrink ray bits. Huh, that's a choice. Or do you? I don't know. This is confusing. This is Duke Nukem 3D from memory. It is! Because I don't know if they've taken that shrink puzzle out or not. I'm assuming they've not. But I couldn't see the... Because normally there's a handprint right next to that thing. Go in here. So this is normally where the dancing lady is. Wait, did that open up the thing? Have they actually changed it that much? I think they have. They have. So yeah, you don't... Okay, we're at the alien ship. Well, they really changed the back end of this level, didn't they? Oh wow. To be clear, I don't remember any of this. Oh no, I get that. I get what you're saying, Squirrel. But like I'm just pointing out, like this is I was not expecting any of this. So I mean, let's just go. Let's go. Let's go. So I'm assuming this is going to drop us into the boss section. What's with this music choice? This is from the 4th episode of Duke Nukem 3D, but
Come get some.
Okay. I guess we're doing this, aren't we? I'm just going to get as much ammo as I can, because I suspect we're going to need it against this Battle Lord. So we've got the Devastator here, which, you know, yay. How big are these switches, by the way? These are huge. Oh my god, you can fire those without any care, can't you? Oh my days. Right. I'm gonna have to move carefully here. Right, those bouncing bombs he drops, absolutely devastating. We do not want to touch those. God, we got stuck to a wall. Do not want to get stuck to a wall in here. Apologies if I'm not talking. Oh, there we go. Got it.
Die, you son of a bitch.
Straight for the wind. The rockets are really slow, and his bouncy bombs did a lot of damage. I think it took like 70 health off.
I'm Duke Nukem, and I'm coming to get the rest of you alien bastards.
Right. Hey, did it first time. You know, you can laugh at me for the other mistakes I made, but, you know, did that first time. I think I was terrified about having to redo the whole level again.
Rockin'.
Bouncy bombs, also known as grenades. Well, to be fair, I don't know what the aliens call the things. I just call them bouncy bombs.
Nobody steals our chicks and lives.
I'm not part of the aliens naming society. Huh. Okay. This music is a choice. Under attack, help. I mean, girl, we just beat a boss. Like, I need help. Okay, so apparently we don't get to destroy that chair. Apparently everything else in this game is destructible, but this... Oh wait, it is. You just have to go right up to it and shoot it. Okay, fair enough. Mighty Fuss, also known as Kick. Is it strange I find the 64 grenade projectiles look an awful lot like Diet Pepsi cans? I mean, they basically are just tin cans. But yeah, I mean, I can understand where that comes from. Just to be clear, by the way, I do not claim to be like an expert at like technical stuff, so I am always open to being proven wrong with stuff. I'm not one of these people who's like, I know this, and you know, I'm the only person who could possibly know this. If I'm wrong on something, I don't mind admitting I'm wrong. Let's go. Put the key card into the slot. Open the door. Nothing's in the lift. All coming out Millhouse. So the other day when I was doing the PS1 version of this, I didn't grab this. So the first thing I'm going to do here is grab the jetpack. Because we're not going to use it too much in this episode, but there is a level where I will be using it. Look how stretched that is. I'm sorry. Look how big that is from a distance. And I'm not a size queen, but geez. Did you know everything you're seeing is pretty much just hundreds of floating sprites that are warped and stretched to make a coherent image? No, I mean, this is impressive to me. To me, this is all impressive because if you were here during the N64 playthrough, like the skybox in the N64 version was nothing. It was just it was basically just a black void. So, you know, I think what this version does really well is I think at least captures the PC version a lot better than the N64 version. But at the same time, I also think that I'm also impressed at how good the controls seem in the Saturn version. Like I said, once you get used to them, they kind of become, you know, usable. But you've got to get used to them. You've got to get it, like the vibe on it, because these controls will eat you out if you're, well, they'll eat you out. Yeah, I know what I said, and it's too late to take it back. So let's just go with it. They'll eat you up and chew you out, spit you out. That's what I was going for. Off. There we go. Can you see all the way up to through the levels through the pipes? I think I can look. If you give me a second, I'll look here. Yeah, look, you can see up into the next like sector there, because you can see the top of this area where we got the items from. The minions of decades old and work closely to the original product. It's design simulator, beautiful. I love how they're able to recreate the multi-level tunnel, because in PC it's hidden teleporters. Yeah, they stitch all together. Yeah, so if you look like so I think Squirrel was just pointing that out. If you look up here, look, you can see it's literally just a 3D design, which is actually pretty clever. So yeah, you can see to the top there, which in the PC version you can't, because it's all teleporters and sort of like sleight of hand. So okay. I always hate that ambush, because they give you all that health and then immediately these two enforcers, like a one here, just turn up to ruin your day. Yeah, like I said, so the main thing with this version is the controls. You've got to get the controls under control, because if you don't get the controls under control, I know, I said that 100 times, you're going to have a nasty time with this. But honestly, it's not even that bad. I think it's not my favorite way to play Duke Nukem 3D, but I definitely think in the hierarchy of what I would play, this beats out the PlayStation 1 version just. Plus the music in this one's really good as well. Everyone's favourite enemy from Duke Nukem 3D. But Power Slave has a build version, completely different game. I know, just call it. Outside of the curiosity, say there isn't much to see with the PS1 version. It's just PC version. That's what I'm saying. I think like in the hierarchy of the ports that I'm playing through and that you've seen me play through, PlayStation goes at the bottom. This goes in the middle, and then N64 goes top, because I think the changes N64 version makes to the levels is worthy of exploration in itself. Yeah, no, that's fine. Like, I mean, to be fair, in the space of the stream, I've gone from I don't like it to it's actually pretty good. So you know, we have progress. Again, music choice. Like this is like the wrong music again. Few burger in space. Don't ask me why this music's here. Just enjoy the ride for what it is. There we go. That's how we deal with that. It does lend this music of this level of very weird sort of vibe, doesn't it? Reminds me of Monolith Burger from Space Quest 3. Just a second. Duke 3D feels forbidden with this much bass guitar. Hey, Duke Nukem 3D is never forbidden. Only frowned upon. They're definitely a lot more bearable in this version. They're nowhere near as obnoxious to fight against. Those are droids. Well, sentries, sorry. No, not called sentries. Whatever they're called. Those floating annoying things. Those things. They're a lot easier to handle in this version, so that's a point. If Saturn had true perspective corrected texture, I think it would have been as good as N64. Possibly.
Who wants some?
I mean, the reason I haven't done the Saturn in retrospect yet is because I honestly don't have any Sega Saturn Doom footage to hand. Because whenever I've tried to record it in the past, I've never been happy with the footage I get. So once I can kind of work that one out, I will get the Saturn in retrospect out. As you, this version just makes many smart choices. Oh yeah, definitely. To say that this is running on Sega Saturn, it is very impressive. I assumed we were getting a new one there, so I kind of decided to. We're being attacked from all sides. And the worst part is, we can be attacked from underwater like that. So yeah. What time is it now? We are coming up to 4:35. Is this frame rate accurate Saturn or increased with emulation? You will have to ask someone who's played this on Saturn. I could not give you an answer to that. Unfortunately, like, as I said at the start of the stream, this is more to give you a flavour for what the Saturn version is. Didn't know you were streaming tonight. No, that's fine, Adam. I won't be streaming for too much longer though, because I am beginning to feel a bit tired. But what I'm probably going to do, I'm probably going to stream tomorrow as well. So if I stream tomorrow, I'll probably continue this on, because this is fun, to be honest. This is actually pretty decent. Now that we've got all the issues sorted out with the controls and such, it's actually pretty decent. See me sort of whizzing through the levels here.
Cool.
Take you out. Kind of nutty how the Dreamcast ports of Quake 3 had sharp textures and PS2 looked blurry like N64. I mean, to be fair, like a lot of the PS2 ports, they were kind of hit and miss at points. PS2 wasn't that strong, because I always remember the joke back around the time. The joke always was Xbox got the best looking ports of games, and PlayStation would get like a so-so like version of that. Really, I didn't. So my experience with the PS2 ports was always people saying they were inferior. So, but then again, like my experience with Dreamcast, very minimal. I used to have a friend who I used to go hang out with sometimes. They were the only person I knew who had a Dreamcast. Like I said, all PS2 was overdraw. Xbox 2 could not replicate its overflow textures and parallel processing. Fair. I'm not really deep on the tech side of stuff, so I mostly just observe like how a game looks. Because I know the original Xbox was kind of overpowered compared to the other consoles at the time. This is ridiculous, by the way. I'll do that to try and clear out some of this room. I know the fact the Dreamcast ran with Windows helped. I were mostly noticed by visual snob. So I remember being blown away by Dreamcast because Dreamcast came out like while the N64 was still a thing, and like the leap between those two was kind of crazy to me. Nope, we want to go up. Nope, we want to go. I want to be out of the water so bad right now. I have to be really careful here because right, that did not go to plan. It's now on the hunt for health.
I needed that.
But 3DO games are badly ported to PS1. It doesn't mean the 3DO is more powerful. I mean, to be fair, the Jaguar got a bunch of games before PS1 as well, because a lot of the early PS1 games showed up on the Jaguar. Because I remember Rayman was one of the games that everyone used to compare, like saying, "Look how good it looks and the sound." Oh, missed the shrink there. There we go. Again, though, Sony weren't really very good with the hardware side of things. They never really kind of committed to like great specs. So I love PS2, but like it's definitely not the. It's got the worst video output as well of all that generation of consoles. And okay, clearly, he doesn't want me to leave the level. Rayman 2 and Dreamcast is an absolute showpiece. Bump mapping was genius. That's, what, actually, Squirrel, you make a great point there. Rayman 2, across all of the different console ports, is a great showcase for like where things were. Because Rayman 2 on PS1, it's a bit of a dog's dinner. So he made a decision for massive parallelization with the PS2. If you could orchestrate your coding to not cause horrible bottlenecks and flow. Hi, Nuke. Hey, Desan, how you doing? How you doing?
Rip on a new one.
Hope you're having a good one. So, I will probably do one more level and then probably call it there because we are closing in on 5 o'clock in the morning here. I am actually feeling a bit tired today as well, so that's good. I played leaked early, build Duke Nukem Forever, and you could tell the passion that wasn't there. The problem with Duke Nukem Forever is that Thingy, what's his face, wouldn't stop feature creeping it. Like, he would see a new feature in a game and he'd be like, this must go into Duke Nukem Forever. Even though Duke Nukem Forever did not need that feature. The entire book was written about the disaster was the PS3 CPU. So what makes me laugh is that people look back on the PS3's hardware and they're like, oh, it was really good, it was really good. Like, everyone hated Cell. Everyone hated Cell back in that generation. No one liked Cell. The only reason that like the PS3 has sold more is because at the tail end of the generation, like Sony literally was selling them for nothing. But like in the if you want to know how bad like PS3 was in cross-platform games, play Fallout 3, play Skyrim, play Rage on PS3. All of those versions are inferior to the Xbox 360 version. PS3 has a similar issue. I know you're not a developer, so I understand why you're saying this. No, I'm just saying. I know what you're saying because I know Cell is very good. I know Cell is very good, but you had to write the game for Cell, and that's why games like Resistance look beautiful. That's why Uncharted looks beautiful on PlayStation 3. But it's also why a bunch of cross-platform games are just doo-doo. And the funny thing is, I was watching someone stream Duke Nukem Forever, was it last night or the night before, on PS3, and the performance on PS3, I thought Xbox 360 was bad. It launched with as a focal point at a time when developers were only developing. Yeah, indeed, I agree with you, Squirrel. I agree 100% with you, Squirrel. Cell was a different way of doing things, and unfortunately, I don't think... it took a long time for developers to really start getting to grips with it. All 3 FPS. In hindsight, PS3 was way ahead of its time as a multi-threading became standard from PS4 era. Yeah, exactly. Like, this is what I'm saying to you. Games written for the PlayStation 3 were amazing. Like, you could... at the high end of PS3, it outperformed Xbox 360. But the problem is a lot of the multi-platform games, and those are the ones that people really wanted to talk about, you ended up with this situation where PS3 was always like a step or two behind. Oh look, see, that texture's still there in this version. That was not nice, and now I'm gonna have to go and find health.
Where is it?
I reckon they'll release MGS4 in another master collection. I wouldn't mind that. I'd love that. Oblivion on PS3 is a major improvement over 360. I agree with that. I think the one I remember is Fallout 3, because I remember people who played Fallout 3 had a lot of issues and they were never fixed. Sony, there was never like a fix. Bethesda never went back and fixed it. And then I remember when Rage came out, that had performance issues with PS3. Wasn't 360 basically just IBF power cores glued to it? Yeah, it was 3 cores. It was 3 cores. I think it was tri-core. Like the 360 was like a disaster in itself. Like the red ring of death should have been the death of that console completely. Like the failure rate of those early Xbox 360s was disgusting, and they should never have been. The console really shouldn't have survived that.
Who wants some?
Yeah, that's it. Tri-core CPU. Yes. I actually have two PS3s. Interestingly, I have a slim and I have a fat PlayStation 3. Yesterday I forgot to Rhythm Paradise music in the background and started dancing Blood Refresh multiplayer New York. Nice, James, nice. What got Saturn was EA being annoyed by the choice of GPU. I mean, to be fair, EA have a history of doing that, because never forget, they said they were going to support the Wii U until Nintendo said they couldn't do the online, because EA wanted to run the Wii U's online sort of bit, and Nintendo wouldn't let them. Nintendo were like, nah, we'll do that ourselves, and that's one of the reasons why EA pulled back on the Wii U. EA like to do that. They like to get really stroppy about consoles. The actual problem in the first gen Xbox was too much volts in the console. Well, I had 12 Xbox 360s over the span of that console's lifespan, and most of those were trade-ins when the console decided to red ring itself. It happened twice to me when I was playing online games. One time it happened when I was playing GTA 4 online. I remember we were in an online lobby, me and my friends, and I remember that like there was like a click from the console, and like the graphics it's hard to describe. It was like the Matrix but blue, and like the console was like really struggling with what to do, but I was still in the lobby and everything, so it was really weird. Gaming died after GameCube, not commercially, but it does nothing for me. Fair enough. I have an Xbox 360 Elite. That never went wrong. Yeah, so just a second. Let me see if I can get it up here. Because I have a second. Put this over here. Those are my PS3 games, by the way. Yeah. I have an Xbox 360 here. If I can just get the cables out. There you go. You see, I have an Xbox right here. So like Wow, Nukem, not on YouTube. Yeah, I still prefer the 360 version of Radiant's Silver Shot. EA was the developer who made Sega by reverse engineering. Yeah, so EA have always been weird about stuff. But yeah, I am very much to this day I'm very much a fan of the 360. So maybe that's why I'm a bit critical of the PS3 version, PS3 and console.
Into the game, baby.
Oh wow, I didn't know you had a 360. Oh no, so I have a fat one downstairs, and I have one here, which is the I got that from CEX because they had a sale on, and I was like, you know what, I fancy picking one of those up. No, you can still get to be honest, like now's probably the best time to get a 360. Because the modding community, they're doing really amazing stuff. Because they've got it to the point now where you only need a USB flash drive to soft mod your console. Like, and in my opinion, once companies basically turn off the servers for the shops and all that, I think it's fair game to do whatever you want with that console. I don't think you should pay a penny for anything on that console. Nice, I'm glad you had a good time. Yes, so when the 32X was being developed, Sega of America were told that the Saturn would arrive in, was it 96? They were told it was a year, they were told it was 2 years off, and then that's why the 32X was even conceived. Drones dodge rockets. Yeah, I got V60, meaning the shop closing, but yeah, I'll look into that. I am someone who will always tell people, take ownership of what you want with game consoles. Do not let developers seize control from you. Like my PS2, which is just over there behind me, it's got a hard drive in it. It's got like it's got pretty much all the PS2 games I want. Because if I had to go out and buy those PS2 games physically, it would cost me hundreds and hundreds of pounds, and probably thousands. But with that console, because it's soft modded, I can play US PS2 games. And it's that simple. That's, in my opinion, if they won't put the features in, you should always put them in yourself so you get the chance. I was actually going to check that out in a minute and see if the USS Enterprise is here. I don't think it's going to be. I really doubt it.
Where is it?
Yeah, I don't think it's here, sadly. I really want. I pirate the rest. Fuck it. Yeah, exactly. That's how I am, Squirrel. There's certain games like the PS1 games I have over there, and there's a bunch of 360 games I have that I've bought because I want them. But if I really want to play, like, you know, Grand Theft Auto, Liberty City Stories, I don't want to have to pay like whatever it is in CEX to get my hands on that. So for me, it's like, okay, I'll just download it. Yeah, I'm bad for that, BAP. I'm bad for that. I'll be like, oh, this is a really good game. I really want it, and then I won't do anything with it. And I'm really bad for that. I'm really bad for that. So, me and my partner, we actually bought a Japanese Nintendo 64 about 4 years ago. And then, rather than just buying games, we just bought the EverDrive. Again, I show this, I seem to show this at least once a stream. Yeah, I have the EverDrive there. And, like, I do not feel guilty about acquiring games. I don't. In my opinion, once a console is obsolete, I think it's fair game for whatever you want to do with it. And console manufacturers should respect that. In my opinion. But yeah, to answer the question earlier, I don't think the Enterprise thing is here. I really want to get Psychic World for the Sega Master System. Companies want me to not pirate it. Reprint the game, I'll just get me a ROM. I pretty much got every EverDrive ever. Excellent, Des. I really want to. If I had more money, I would. That's the thing. The Turbo is good because you can play CD games. EverDrive is great. I just so happen to still have the original 6 games. Exactly, yeah. Xbox 360 Online was officially shut down. It was, but the fans, but the community around the Xbox 360 is trying to keep the console alive in other ways. And I appreciate that. I think that's very important for communities to do. I know the PS3 store works because I've seen channels covering the original trilogy managing. So the thing with the PS3 store, you've got to be on a PS3 to see the content of the store. Sony have been very weird about that. I do not understand why they've made it so you can't look at it from the web. You physically have to hook your PS3 up and then connect it to the internet if you want to see a PS3 store. It's so bizarre. PS3 store is still up. Probably only because it uses PS3 store servers. Yeah, and do you remember when PS3 tried to, when they said they were going to close them down and everyone kicked up a stink? We should do that more we should do that more as a community. When I get the new channel up, one of the things I want to cover is like obsolete consoles and like how people kept them alive, because you can still play PS2 games if you have the online adapter, which is really fascinating to me. Like,
Hail to the king, baby.
Hail to the king. He says it's so fast. It's like he's really rushing to kind of get his words out. Wait, have they closed this off so I have to do the whole level? That seems a bit dodgy to me. New channel? Is it called That Doom Guy? No, if you go to my channel, if you go to the top where my links, the first link is the new channel. It's called Nukem's Backlog. It's because that's going to be for non-first person shooter games, because I found that when I put like non-first person shooter games up, people kind of get a bit weird on this channel, which is fine, because I know, I get it, people have subscribed to see first person shooters. Lots of private custom PM servers online. Those jerks forcing you to play the game. Hey Ren. Well, I don't like this level, so like, because I did say I was going to finish at the end of the last level, so what I'll do, I think, I'll leave it here for now, and then I'll probably stream tomorrow night, and we'll probably just finish this off, because I'll start earlier so we can get this done. Low problem with that is you'll run out of FPS games eventually. Oh no, trust me, I've got I want to cover Turok on N64. I want to cover Quake. I want to cover Bloodmore. I want to cover Alien vs Predator on the Jaguar. I want to cover all the Jaguar FPS games because they're all fascinating. So yeah, there's a lot of things I want to cover on the channel. It's just a case of I don't want to do too many different things at once, because if I do too many things, people who subscribe for like Doom, for Duke Nukem, they'll think, well, he's not doing Doom and Duke Nukem anymore. So it's like, it's about gradually bringing things in rather than just rushing to do everything. Yeah, you can get the flash card for that too. You can. There's a lot of Everdrive and Everdrive clones out there. Like on my just a second. I have it over here. Give me a second. Like on my Game Boy here. Like I don't buy Game Boy games anymore because one, they're expensive, but two, it's like there's issues with like the flash stuff. So like I have this here. I have this card here. So that's for all the Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. And in my Game Boy, I should have. Oh, is it? No, I know it's I know where it is. It's downstairs. Oh no, it's not. It's here. I have the Easy Flash for the Game Boy Advance. So for me, it's like I do that because it's cheaper for me. I don't want to have to spend money on like £100 on like one game that's like 30 years old, just so I can experience it on real hardware. It's all the Game Boy games, true, but they improved massively regardless. Yeah, I play Game Boy Colors, find my Game Boy Cube and Everdrives. Duke 3D on Game Boy Advance. Yeah, so I have a GameCube with the Game Boy player in it. Duke Nukem Advance is one that I really want to cover, but I want to make sure I play it through fully before I start talking about it. That was an amazing stream, Nukem. Thanks, James. Someone convinced me not to spend thousands of dollars on retro PCs. Ugh. Well, I mean, with RAM prices going the way they are, you know, maybe going retro is the way to go. Duke 3D on Genesis. I've already done a video on that one. I might do a stream with that eventually, but the problem is there's not much to that game, so I don't know if I could get a full stream out of it. Retro PCs are a pain in the ass to build and maintain. They are, because especially 90s PCs, the hardware is like so specialized. It's not easy to kind of configure properly. Commander Keen GameCube was good. I hear Duke Nukem GameCube. You know, like I said, I have the option to play them. It's just a case of I need to get round to them. But that's what in the new year I'm kind of hoping to do a lot more stuff like that. But yeah, so that's a good. I just think it's weird that the Xbox began as an enhanced box, and yeah, fair enough. Yesterday we forgot to put 2 players in Blood Refresh. Yeah, I've been trying with the idea of 90s PC. I want to get a DOS PC. I really want to get a DOS PC at some point, but the problem is, like, just a second, I'll do that so there's some music. But the problem is, like, it's choosing one that's going to last the course, because I don't want to get one, have it break down, and then have to hunt down, like, hardware to replace it, because I think I'd rather just buy, like, an all-in-one package. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for this stream. We'll pick this up when I stream tomorrow. I say I'm probably going to stream tomorrow, just because, you know, I've got nothing on tomorrow, so that's pretty fun. But outside of that, I think I'll probably also stream on the... What date is it today? I'll probably stream on Tuesday as well. So I'll probably stream on Sunday and Tuesday this week. And then I'm probably going to go quiet for a few days because I'm going to be going to see family for Christmas. But yeah, it's been really fun. I really love Duke Nukem Mega Drive. I'm a big fan of Wolfenstein Clones. To be fair, I like it, but I don't think there's a lot to it. That, like I said, it's the quantity that's the issue, because I could play that on stream, but I'd probably be done with it in like an hour. I'm ready for more stream tomorrow. Oh, cool. Yeah, no, have a good one, everyone. Stay safe, and I'll catch you on the next stream.